trying to think a little bit about, you know, some of that sort of composition. Maybe there's a bit of hair going down here. Maybe it's hard to 100% know what's hair, what's not. Alright, so we've got kind of blue thing here. And I've got some weird little cat guy or something. I wasn't quite sure what this was, and I was like, oh, I should probably just use some reference. But yeah, let's see if we can make something that feels a little bit more creaturey. Well, it'd be good to have this a bit more like really kind of cat like, right? It's really kind of grabbing this thing. Let's get rid of this. This is going to be behind here. Alright, so what did I have? I kind of had this idea for some little sort of goblin cat thing. I don't know what this is. It's a terrible idea to try and design something without actually spending a lot of time on it. Let's play around. Again, can certainly look a little bit ugly and weird, right? It's kind of the, right, there's like an intersection between ugly and cute. That's good to explore, but we'll see. I would like to think this. But probably better than another black cat. I mean, black cat would be cool, but still's a bit more fun. Like there's something going on there.
What's up?
Alright, put a few of those little things here.
What's up, everybody? Today, I'm just kind of drawing, just kind of finally getting back into the groove of things. It's been a little minute. I've kind of been out of it for a few months already. Haven't really been drawing as much. And so I'm just trying to get back into the groove of things and really trying to lock in the shit. You know what I'm saying? Just kind of really start to enjoy art again, which I kind of, to be honest, haven't really for a while now. And so it's something that I'm really trying to get back into and just, bring all the skills that I've been learning over the past couple years and just kind of bring them to actually good use,
To make this feel a little bit.
I'm sorry for my camera. I'm just using my phone right now, and that little tripod fucking gooseneck is a little bit broken. So please bear with that. Hopefully I'll get a new one soon.
To being able to, for me anyway, digitally kind of work up the drawing and start.
I feel like work has been a little slow right now, so it's been a good time to kind of just get back into the art, get back into drawing and shit.
Value, and it takes us a lot longer to kind of get straight to that kind of dark line, right? A bit more like we would with pencil. So I'm gonna leave that hand pretty rough, I think. Yeah.
Really, I just wanted to do some environments and creatures, some little otherworldly type stuff. So, as you can see, I'm just kind of sketching out some little octopus guys. I think that's something I've kind of been into for a while. It's like, I think I like doing them just because you can really get really stretchy with their body and it doesn't have to be like perfect. So you can really just kind of like have fun with them.
Actually kind of see what it sort of looks like front on. Yeah. I'll zoom up here so we can add some of this, right? So we've got pumpkin. Right, and then just do a funny face. Right, put the rest on later. So again, all of these little things would be things that would require more structure if we were to have more of a detailed process, right? So,
God, that looks creepy.
For instance, making sure that, as we were carving out these kind of pumpkin features, that, they actually kind of did wrap around that, right, the anatomy of the pumpkin. Being clear about.
That looks crazy.
Exactly where in perspective all the different sort of segments of the pumpkin, right?
I think that is a huge problem I have of mine, is getting characters and putting them into cars. That's actually one thing that I'm not very good at.
Space, lighting wise.
I should probably do more practices of that.
Yeah, all that stuff is really, really important. Whereas this, I think, would probably turn out alright if we add the color. But yeah.
I do want to hand it out instead.
In terms of form and structure.
We can just kind of.
And also we're getting a few bad tangents, so that means we obviously got that there. So I think that's alright. Let's clear the selection. Let's erase a bunch of the stuff that kind of doesn't work. Well, right, yeah, I'll speaking of like not it being a little bit lame, let's see if we can make it a little bit less lame. But this is one of those things where, as I was saying, that there's no amount of me saving this, right, that's really going to make much of a difference, right? In order to really take the detail of this to the next level, I would need to properly construct it and think about exactly how this kind of face shape sort of maps dimensionally to the pumpkin. And that's what the construction drawing is for, right? That's what that extra phase is for, to give you that extra level of detail, the extra level of sort of polish in a reliable way. Without that, it's very, very easy here. This is also why having some knowledge of process is really vital. Is that, you know, it's easy if you're not aware of this to just kind of spend ages here, right? And I think this is often what separates it. This is what actually experience is, right? It's a little bit less a matter of sort of drawing and skill. A lot of it is kind of saying, you know, there's not much point in me. Right, I think that's actually, I've changed the opacity there. Let's pull that back down. Yeah, it's a little bit more a matter of saying, I know I can't sort of push this further.
I'm sorry about hearing the background, guys. Sorry you guys gotta listen to that. I'm just kind of throwing on some art stuff.
I'm just kind of sketching around. I also know I don't
Shout
have
out
time.
to Tim McBurney. That's what we're listening to right now. I don't know, I might even cut this out just because I don't know if that's like a copyright thing or not. I don't think so. Yeah, I'd hope Homeboy isn't mad, but you know. Guess you never know.
Okay, yep, obviously the form is sort of wrapping this way, you perceive the form. And then as you sort of put these lines in, you do that while you're perceiving the form. But a lot of that requires you do it many times. Anyway, I think we're probably done with that. Let's see if we can just place this a little bit. But yeah, I think that's probably where I'm going to leave it. So what else needs to be done, right? Really could, again, might be good to make this pumpkin a little bit more lopsided, right? It's looking very symmetrical, which again is one of those things that may not actually be a good idea. Boom. Alright. Yeah. So basically the other elements I want some sort of foreground swoosh. I want a few clouds in the foreground. I want some clouds in the background. So let's make another layer over the top of this. Right? And I'm just gonna create a nice fluid line there that feels kind of right to me. And another one. And these clouds are going to be in the foreground. Again, super simple, but that's what we have to do. Now, is that going to help my cause? I'm not quite sure. Alright, and now let's do another one behind. In this case. So again, these are super rough. I don't know whether that is, it's going to maybe create some bad sort of tangents, so it might be better to think about something more like this. Again, it's probably not going to feature much in the actual kind of finish, we see. do. All right, let's see. This is where it's good to do. Turn this off, because I've had this sort of sketch line on here, and then be like, okay, what do I actually got? What do I got? Because often, if you are creating something based off that kind of first sketchy line, this is something that would get me all the time. Is I'll be like, yeah, I've got it. This is looking cool. I've got all this sketchiness and looseness, and then I take away my sketch lines, and there'd be nothing there. Right? Nothing to see here, folks. It's all gone. You lose a lot of that sort of life. So it's always important to also have part of your process, if you're doing this, where you focus on what have I got, right? Like, what's the drawing that I actually have? How can I plus it, right? How can I look in here and make sure, okay, do I need to delete this, right? Like, what's actually happening? Do I need to make some of these lines a little bit more refined? Let's go back to the top one, right? Right. So this is often a matter of just paying a little bit more attention to line quality, right? And what I often like to do is start to anchor some of these lines when I'm doing drawing. And by that I mean, just think about where are the outlines, how can I, like, instead of sort of making one big line dark, right, just sort of think about where would be shadows, right, that I can hook up and really push here and there to connect up these forms, right? So I'm sort of looking for places that probably would be a little bit darker. So instead of saying, just make all of that darker, I'm going to make some of it darker. Alright, same thing here. Let's do a little bit. Let's put a few little accents of shadow. And this is a super effective, sort of simple way. Same thing here. Right? Don't need to add texture everywhere. But if I just add it a little bit here and there, it'll really help. And also, let's just find those silhouette lines, those actual lines where I've got something where I actually need to push the silhouette, push the form, something that I know, right, I want to be a solid part of the finished drawing. I've got a couple of these weird errant lines, right, that often can sort of appear. That looks like a line that was done in haste. Alright, so again, what's happening with these lines? I don't know. It's not too important to me. Again, here, let's sort of push some of these shadows. Right, let's accentuate that. And let's go through and clean this up. So this is where, again, understanding where you might find a bit of sort of polish, right? By saying, okay, I have these lines that were sort of drawn there behind. How can I clean those up? Same thing here, right? Let's just clean up any of that nonsense. All right, boom.
So, I guess any advice I could give for really getting back into drawing for artists that kind of have fallen out of it, I would say, making time for one is a big thing. I notice that come from a tattoo artist sort of background. That's what I do for a living. So I know a lot of us don't have very much time to draw, and a lot of us don't make time to draw. I think it's a good thing to kind of get back into doing what you love, because I've noticed for a lot of us, when it comes to that, we kind of forget what we got into this for. We kind of forget that we got into it because we had this really, passion for art. And it kind of becomes like just our job, and we're just kind of doing what people want all the time, which is cool. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's good, but you don't want to forget what you're in it for, or else you kind of start to eventually lose your spark, and it just really becomes like a job. I'm very lucky at the moment that I have a lot of time and stuff like that to be able to do these drawings, but it's always best to at least try to do what you can. I mean, even if it's only like an hour a week or a couple minutes, I mean, it doesn't matter. I think it's really just about putting in that effort and just kind of getting there, finding that passion. Finding what you really want to do is also a big part. What is your personal sort of style? I mean, which will definitely come after time of learning fundamentals and stuff, but I think finding out what you like to do is going to be a huge benefit. But yeah, I feel like that's gonna do it. Probably to put a bit of emphasis here. Really sort of clean that up. But yeah, I think I can solve it. What else should we add here? In the final coloring phase. So again, a big part of your process is also having stages along the way where this is where you check for the finish line, right? Like this is where you check for the story. This is where you check for the idea, the intent, like what the whole purpose of the whole thing is. And the reason that that's important is you kind of have to understand, once you go past certain points, there really is no point, pun not intended, in trying to save certain things or achieve certain things. Like once you sort of get to this stage, it's very hard to fix the story if the story's no good. That ship is kind of sailed, right? There's not going to be much luck kind of doing any of that. It's kind of done. And I think just sort of understanding that, like, okay, what's the best way for me to actually get some form of closure on this, or what are the actual tools I have now? So again, for me, like, it's not composition, it's basically just, here's the line work, right? Here's me sort of finessing these different things, right? Like, that's what's actually gonna do it. But yeah, I think that's kind of pretty much done. I'm gonna jump over here so we can kind of look at it in the actual sort of screen with the feed. So yeah, I mean, I feel like that's kind of working all right. Yeah, next stage in the process is adding some flat colors. If this was just a sketch, that's probably where we'd leave it, but yeah, I think this could certainly do with some really kind of simple color. But I'm kind of running out of time, right? I don't want to spend hours and hours on this, so let's look at some really sort of simple techniques that I could use here. So again, if we look at what I did start to notice about drawing and getting better at drawing is, for years I would definitely practice, and I've done, years in practice. I've probably been at least practicing more so anatomy and how to do like boxes and shapes a lot better over the past 5 years or so. And so this is roughly where I've gotten in about 5 years. I have still been drawing many years before that. Kind of taking it serious at least 3
do some clouds.
Maybe 2 years before that. So, oh, I don't know. 8, 9 years, something. Kind of taking it a little more serious. But I would say definitely 2019 or so is when I started to get more into doing anatomy and shit like that. Mostly because I seen Kim Jong-il, and I realized that was always kind of what I wanted to do without knowing it. When I was like a kid, I would draw little scenes and like little war scenes and things like that with stick figures. And when I seen Kim Jong-il's work for the first time, I was just like, oh shit, that's what I want to do. That's what I like. And so I kind of started to pursue that, which is really off topic, so to speak, for most of the tattoo world. I know a few people that are really good at stuff like this. A few of the guys that I work with also. Fucking great artists. But it's kind of unheard of to do a lot of these things. Sometimes in the industry of tattooing. That's not to say anything bad. It's just, I guess I'm just saying I decided to take a very different approach.
I like the background, but I'm actually going to sort of start it and make it a bit darker. We'll see how this goes. And I think for most of these kind of shapes, we are going to have something.
This takes a really long time to upload on my YouTube.
That's a little bit darker in the background, right? I think so. Hair will be like that. Probably the skin, I think, might be a little bit sort of darker. So I'll play with that. I'll do that separately.
I'm hoping you guys are enjoying this. Just kind of watching me draw, because to be honest with you, I think only recently have I decided I'm going to actually try and try to take videos of me drawing and stuff.
Where I think we can also get lost with digital techniques and stuff is that,
I would only have done like time lapses before, but I'm kind of happy with the things I've been drawing recently.
It's really easy to sort of be
been having a lot more fun than I was before. Just been really getting back into my characters, and I just got back from Lightbox also. Shout out all the dope artists that that were there this year. That was super sick. I think it definitely kind of gave me some inspiration, and it really just kind of made me say, you know what, I need to get back to doing what I was doing. And kind of put everything, like I was saying earlier, kind of just put everything that I've been doing to work. And just trying to be the best version that I can be of myself. That's crazy.
Do some specific training in this. So I'm just experimenting, right? And that is often, how you kind of learn these programs, right? This is often how I do it, because I've got such a specific way that I like to, learn how these things work. Alright, so what else do we need to do? Let's pick a color that is really going to sort of work for this kind of skin tone. Again, I'm not exactly sure what it will be yet, but that's okay because there we go, like something like that. Again, let's not go too high contrast. With the whole thing, just keep it nice, flat, simple. Alright, but yeah, often in the beginning, what I always start out with is just like, let's just keep this really simple, right? Let's just think about from a process standpoint, coloring. You know, the less we can kind of play around with layers, the less we can kind of mess around. Often, like the easier it is to just kind of get started and think about not necessarily the process of like how I do this with layers, but the process in terms of what is the sequence that I will add these flat colors. So there's probably a sequence of me kind of thinking about, okay,
that's definitely off.
First, and I'll put these colors in, then I'll do this. Right? There's really going to be
So I've been trying to kind of do more
developing a process
of the
and if I just kind of think about that,
kind of direct,
what order do I flat things in?
just like one line sort of drawing, if that makes sense. Like
The more you
not using guidelines and things like that, you know.
start to think about your edges, the more you
And not to say it is the Kim Jong-gi style, but you know,
there's a certain degree
sort of to a degree like that. I've been trying, but
sort of technical style with digital
I still mess up sometimes, and that's why I don't really like using
just use layers.
pen or brush pen, because for a long time I used to use brush pen and pen, and I would really try to, you know, get that style. But what I did realize was it was kind of holding me back a little bit because I wasn't very good. Well, I wasn't horrible at it. Not horrible at it. But I'll make a lot of things messed up, so to speak. And then, you know, there's nothing wrong with a little bit of mistakes here and there. But I do like the fact that when I do it with pencil, I get a slightly more quality image in the long run or in the end.
Thinking about, okay, what's that base color? But then let's add a second color.
So
it's a lot easier to
yeah, I've just been doing it with pencil recently and a little bit of marker, but
this is kind of right.
I'll show you guys the last sketch I was doing.
Yeah, real easy to kind of
It's this one. Sketched it in pencil first, then Copic marker.
Figure out. Let's pick just the saturation up a bit.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can add a bit of extra luminance here and there. That might just add a bit to the character. And the other thing we can do here is often if you just do a little bit of this.
What's crazy is, or I think pretty cool is,
in terms of just saying, let's put a
I realized that I said about it. It was 2019 or so. So yeah, about 5 years ago, I remember I said, I'm gonna be able to draw like Kim Jong-gi in 5 years. I'm like, how is it not possible? And I mean, I didn't mean I would be as good as him, but at least I would be able to do a lot of what was inside of my head and bring that into life. And here we are about 5 years later, and I'm definitely a lot closer to doing that than what I was before. So that's been pretty cool.
So this is also where you could do this on a separate layer. And that might work. And what I might also do is, let's select that color. And let's make it a little bit darker, so I've sort of got a dark version of it. Because often that, but again, just adding a little bit of.
I think what I'm still learning
sort of
those
shadow
like silhouettes and
plus the fact that this is gold.
shape
And
language.
also I think I can
I'm
use
still
all these
definitely
same
learning a lot more of that.
kind of feelings. Let's see if I can go a little
I
bit
think
orange. I can use
my
all of
strong
this.
points at the moment are kind of like perspective and stuff. But
And I feel like maybe that
what I
cat
do
is kind of similar idea.
kind
So
of struggle with is I
in
think
the actual sort of output,
thinking out an entire thing I want to draw beforehand, and I've been getting a little bit better.
so again,
I would say over like the past
okay, let's kind of rough it in.
maybe
Yeah,
2 weeks or so.
that's kind of fun. It doesn't look very
I've just kind of been working on how to focus more and you know, not feel so distracted, because for a long time I was feeling very distracted by like, I would say like my phone and just things like that. I would really sit there and feel like I needed to be entertained. You know, I would try to draw and I would need music, or I would need, you know, to put a movie on. I would feel like I needed something. And the truth is that the drawing aspect itself wasn't entertaining me anymore. I wasn't really entertained by drawing itself. I wasn't, just didn't really do that for me. And I said, you know what, I have the tools to be able to do that, or at least say like, you know, kind of like a little bit of knowledge to be able to create what I want and just have a little bit of fun. Because, you know, this is all from memory right here, so I know you guys didn't see where I started, but I haven't really used references. This is a lot of things I've just kind of gathered over the years, but you know, there's things in there that I still don't know how to do, and a lot of times I don't. I only know like a few varieties of cars, so a lot of the times they look maybe a little like cartoony or like a little old style. And I like this box shape. I do like this cartoonish look, but I mean, like, I'd say in the details of things, sometimes I'm not like always the best at drawing like that, or I try to do mechs, but sometimes I'll make them very old style. I don't know how to explain it. Maybe I'm kind of just blabbing on. You know, let me just shut up for y'all. That's what I'll do. I want the city to feel very alive, so you know what, before I get on that. Let's get some more cars in here. Let's make traffic. Oh, you thought we could fly? There was no traffic? No.
Yeah, we better if it was kind of black, right? But again, this is very vague Halloween. Fun, cute Halloween. It's interesting because, yeah,
we still got traffic in this world.
The same way that people in the US have Halloween. Because it's hot over here. So it's a lot of, where you do get it, which is quite rare, but where you do, it's a lot of very sweaty children in awkward costumes, right? Not designed to be worn when it's really hot. So you can see here again, what I'm doing is sort of just plussing and working this kind of silhouette, but I'm kind of just making it up. Right? It's on the same level. You know, I probably could, or should say, let's kind of have that behind this character, but you know, no, I don't know this. It's just fun. Again, because in my mind, I have the intent that once this is done, you know, it's not something I'm gonna probably work on much more. So, you know, it doesn't matter whether all the lines and layers and all that stuff is, you know, 100% sorted.
Oh, wait a second. Actually, it shouldn't be the
yeah, gold.
These things are.
Right, let's put some more gold here and there. So you can see if we kind of zoom up, right? Like it's not very clean, but I think it'll work alright.
It's very 2D
and
now.
Likewise again, probably could create something that was a little bit different view angles. Kind of top thing feel a little bit different.
My brain is geeking right now. What is going on?
So this blue here, yeah, it doesn't really matter. And I think the more you get into the habit of kind of just having fun, and again, understanding the intent of your process, how long you're going to spend, that's when it becomes a little bit more fun. Because, like with this, for instance, I know.
I think when it comes to doing perspective, I'm a lot more intuitive with it. And sometimes when I try to overthink things, I'd say it makes things a little bit more difficult for me.
Just making art again. When you kind of know, this is my outcome, like, this is what I'm doing, this is when it's finished. Let's see if we can find a little bit of it.
Oh, you know what? I want an old school car. Yeah.
Under here. Again, still going pretty loose with this line work. I could put the opacity down if I wanted. Right, again, we could push in here. Let's see if I can plot this a little bit. And yeah, it's just like how much time you got, right? It all looks super rough. But, you know, it's a little bit better than it was. Right. A little bit of that shadow here. Right. And yeah, you know, you could keep going, right? We could really kind of start to add some tonality to some of these bits and pieces. It could be something that, you know, takes it to the next level if you kind of want it. Just kind of see if I can add a little bit more, because we're pretty much out of time here, right? So just putting this everywhere. Right, that's the glow, and then we'll just go back down, go up to yellow, go back down to white, make it lighter. Boom. Just as that glowiness. And then the last one is, yeah, we just keep going down in saturation till we kind of make it feel even brighter and whiter. Boom, there we go. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's see if we can, where's some of that? We'll just have to do it again. It's the skin.
Yeah, so I feel like in these worlds that I've been building, I use a lot of the same sort of these propeller type wheels for my flying vehicles. I kind of feel like it's a cop-out for me just because in my head, it's kind of like I feel like in my head it shoots a flame when I first started drawing them. It was like a, you know, type shit. But I don't think that that's really how it looks now in my head. In my head now, it's more like an electromagnetic type shit that kind of just like I don't know, just kind of propels itself forward.
To play around with that kind of thing. But yeah, the next step would be we just get.
But I just kind of keep drawing that,
Soft, or you go gradient.
and I'm wondering maybe I should find a new way to draw those kinds of cars.
So yeah, let's sort of fade those out a bit.
Figure out something
Let's
else.
do another one. Right, let's fade that out a bit.
Maybe this is a
Put
cool
let's
taxi.
do another one. Right, so fade it out a bit. Sort of homogenizes everything a little bit, makes it look a little bit
Yeah,
cool. And then we
something
do,
like that.
okay, let's add one of those. Let's make it kind of, where's my overlay? Boom. And this is where, again, you could play with different kind of colors.
See, or something like this.
Whatever. Right, homogenize all the colors a little bit more. This will just kind of squish it all down, make it a little bit more. And then, probably, play around with adding some more color effects and maybe sort of pull out some of the colors, add some adjustment. But yeah, for me, that's working pretty well. Let's go here and see if I can add a signature, right? Because I think we are done. Yeah. Cool. So yeah, that's my vaguely Halloween inspired illustration. Check it on the screen here so you can kind of see it, right? Let's move that over.
It's not detailed the inside.
See that?
It's better detail the inside of it. It's kind of all it
Thanks
needs.
for hanging out. Hopefully this is giving you a couple ideas about process.
You know, I don't really like that taxi, but
Too long on it,
I don't want that just because it makes this little part not readable.
That's what it's all about. Complete that illustration, the sort of creation.
There we go.
I've had an idea, right? You go through the process and sort of finish it, and then the next time I'm like, maybe this brush, maybe this thing. But mostly with process, what you want to do is say, I should have spent more time on the idea, on the thumbnail. I should have designed this character more. I should have.
Awesome.
You have an idea, you figure out where in your process that fits, and then you go again. And the next day, do all your sessions, see if you can get it working a little bit better, get to that next level. Anyway, thanks for hanging out. See you on the next one.
See, I don't want to make it too complicated in this area. That's one of the problems I have is sometimes I'll make things maybe too realistic and not so much caring about the way things compositionally look. And that's something that I need to work on. Well, we're at 48 minutes here, so I think I'm gonna cut the video short and we'll just end it right here. I'll probably continue drawing for a little bit. It's already kind of getting late here, but yeah, I hope you guys liked it. I'm just trying to get back into the swing of things. But yeah, subscribe for more. I'll hopefully be put more shit like this out. So yeah, subscribe.